to follow these two steps. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be a bunch, it's not going to be long, but if you lock in with me for about 10 minutes, we're going to get there and we're going to get out. So, the first step, the first key, the first thing you need to know to build this successful and impactful musical career, the one thing you need to do, the first thing is to show up. All right? Is to show up. What? Yeah. You need to actually show up. It means you need to actually put yourself out there. You need to post the music. You need to release the music. You need to, if there is something going on in your city, if there's something going on um, so in your surrounding city that is like an artist showcase or something like that, you might need to put yourself on the list to showcase your artistry, to showcase your music. Find ways to show up as an artist. Show up, like literally, show up. One of the biggest problems with why you may not be able to build the type of I call it listening community following um, that you want to is because they don't know who you are and you're not showing up in places where they can find you, right? If they don't know who you are, it's because you haven't been put in front of them yet. And there is a set of listeners that your music is specifically designed and assigned to impact, right? So, this is one of your strongest things you need to learn. Show up. If you don't show up, they'll never show up. And I know that's, whatever, but if you never show up, they'll never know you exist. They'll never know your music is out there. They'll never know any of it. Your music is good, right? Your music is you spend time on this. But if you don't actually like, here it is, one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen people make, that I've made myself, is that I'll make a song, I spend all this time on it, I'll know it's good, I know it's something that's needed, and what I'll do is I'll release it, I'll distribute it to the stores and the streaming platforms and whatever else, and then that's all I'll do. I'll leave it sitting. I might post about it once or twice, but I never intentionally positioned it, right? Some of the times we don't position things intentionally to be seen and to be found. Just putting it out there is not enough. There is an intentionality that you must show up with, right? So when you start to, let's say you start to post more on social media, here's where we got to lock into who your music is specifically for, right? Because that's going to make the difference with how you post and how you present the thing. Because if you're just haphazardly, I just want anybody that'll hear. No, it's not just a anybody that'll hear it type of thing all the time. Your music has a particular message attached to it that is designed to hit a particular person's soul. Whether you realize it or not, if you reverse engineer your song, if you really listen to it, there was a specific person that the song will be able to draw in because of its contents, right? Because of its messaging. And you've got to find who that people is, who that specific person, type of person is. And you've got to start angling and positioning your posting about the song, your or the project, your all of your content surrounding, and you're gonna have to. And I know we hate the conversation about content. I didn't sign up to be social media personality, da da da. But if you're in today's climate as a musical artist, guess what? Part of the battle is posting content consistently. Part of the battle is posting content consistently. Now, I'm not saying that you're gonna have to be on this thing every single hour of every single day. That's not what I'm saying. But you gotta find the flow that works for you, and you gotta find the flow that's gonna work um, to help the people that need your music find it. Right? This stops becoming about you at a particular point, and it starts becoming about the people who the music is called to impact. Right? One of the problems I think why we don't show up the way we should is because I know this is a little, it's gonna be a little tough, but we can be a little selfish. little self-centered. So we don't post the music on a consistent basis. Hi, everybody. We don't post the music on a consistent basis because we don't want to feel rejected. We don't post the music on a consistent basis because we don't want to look stupid. We don't want to post the music on a consistent basis because we don't want to be embarrassed when nobody likes the post, when nobody goes and listens to it. Now, first of all, likes and shares may or may not be indicative of who actually is listening to your music, right? People will see it. I've done it multiple times. I do it with my friends. I'll see something, I'll watch it, I'll love it, and I forget to like it, or like, and it'll stay in my head all day, and I'll be like, oh my god, I didn't like it. But so it's never, it may not even be indicative of the fact that people are engaging with the music itself. They just might not be engaging with the post. Now that's a whole little conversation, we can get into that later. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes we don't show up in these spaces for the people. This goes past social media. This also goes into why we don't show up in like certain open mic settings and certain opportunities to showcase our music, because we are so centered on how it's going to make us feel if nobody likes it, that we forget that our music is not necessarily, and I know you're not, amen, but it's not necessarily just for us. If we're putting it out, if we've got the music, it's because it's supposed to reach somebody else, right? It's supposed to reach somebody else. So sometimes we can be a little self-centered, and we miss the opportunity to serve people through our musical expression. However, if you will pull into the fact and the reality that your music is actually here to help someone else, it will also help you start to show up more on these platforms. It'll help you start to show up more in person and on these, whether it be social media platforms, whether it be live platforms, XYZ. It'll help you want to present it more, because what you're going to realize is, the more I present it, the more opportunity um, is presented for someone who needs what I have put together, what I have written, what I have sung, what I have produced, what I have put out into the world. It presents more of an opportunity and makes more space for them to be able to come into the help that my song gives them, the realm of understanding, the clarity. Sometimes your song will help someone else process through their own emotions, right? This is the strength of showing up. You've got to show up. You've got to show up. That's number one. The second key I'm going to give you, I'm only giving you two for this video. The second key I'm going to give you is that you have to show up as yourself, right? You have to show up as you. You cannot show up as Chris Brown. You cannot show up as Lana Del Rey. You cannot show up as all these other people that you admire and you may want to, pattern yourself after. The world has an Usher, a Chris Brown, a Bruno Mars, and XYZ. The world has all of these people. What they're waiting on is you. What we need is you. The sounds that we need are coming from your unique musical perspective. So when you show up, don't just show up, but show up as you. All right? Like, one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest problems in showing up as someone else is that you will have to upkeep that false identity in order to keep the listeners that you gained from becoming the other person. So you're always going to be in a tug of war in your soul between who you authentically are supposed to be and who you've crafted as an image for yourself. And that tug of war, though, and I'm not saying you may not be successful from it in an essence. You may gain some traction and gain some following, but you're ultimately going to be bankrupted in your soul, because you're always going to be in war, right? And what you don't need to be is at war with you. Wow, Jesus said it like this: what does it profit a man to gain the world and then lose his soul? Right? Now, that was in the context of some other things, but the essence of that is the same. Like, you will gain a following, you will gain listeners, you will gain XYZ, might gain some stages and some platforms, but you're going to do it at the expense of the authenticity that you've been called to walk in, that you've been created to walk in. You're going to do it at the expense of your true identity. This is why you can't just show up. You have to also show up as you. This will cause for you to make the most impact that you can make, because the people that you are specifically assigned, called, created to impact will be drawn to who? You. They're not going to be drawn to these other people or this false version of you. They won't even be helped as much by this false version of you, because a false identity also comes with poorly interpreted experiences, which then falls into poorly presented and false wisdom. Right? There is a realm of experience and wisdom that your songs will carry through your unique perspective and your experiences as you show up as you. But if you're trying to be someone else, the strength of the unique experience and the wisdom and the authenticity therein, it's actually lost, and people can tell when you're not being authentic. You ever heard the phrase real recognize real? So people can tell when you're being fake. People can tell, and it may not be everybody. I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying everybody gonna catch on, but something's gonna feel off, and it's gonna be the main people that you're supposed to reach. And I'm gonna be like, I just can't get with it. I don't know. I want to, but I just can't get it's some not right. This also means when you're showing up to, because I want to go ahead and talk to you and speak into your future, that you will be called in to do interviews, and you will have certain things that podcast episode. That means when you show up to those spaces as well, as a guest artist to, talk about your new projects and talk about your new success, that you're going to have to show up to those spaces as well as you. Do not falsely manufacture a personality that, here it is, here's what I'm going to say, that God didn't give to you, that God didn't intend for you to walk in. You were created to be you. You've got to lean into who God made you to be. So that's my two keys. You're going to have to show up. And at the end of the day, you're also going to have to show up as you. And if you don't do these two things, you will ultimately stay stuck and in limbo as a musical artist, and you'll never truly lean into the type of impact that you're supposed to make on the listeners, which will mean that you don't actually gain the amount of listeners that you're supposed to gain, and that they're not as consistent with you as you would like them to be. That means they don't listen on a basis that makes them want to stay invested in your music, because it just you're not showing up the way you need to. You're not showing up when you need to and the way you need to. And at that point, there goes the career. At that point, there goes there goes the impact. At that point, whoa, there goes everything I've been working for, because I was trying to do it in a way that wasn't authentic. I was trying to do it in a way that preserved my personal feelings. I was trying to do it in a way that wasn't aligned, and that was not helpful. That was not helpful to those that I've actually been called to serve musically. So yeah, you got to show up, and you got to show up as you. And once you do that, you'll be good to go. I promise. All right. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully this was helpful. If you want to stay connected and learn more, then you know what to do. You hit the subscribe button. If you found this helpful and want to share it with somebody, please don't hesitate. Hit the share button and share it with somebody. Turn on notifications and everything to know when I go live next. If you want some further um, insights and mentorship, and I walk with musical artists as well through a lot of this stuff, then you can get that at the link below that's in the description. And also, I have a free ebook that you can also get as well, so that's also in the description. So I'll speak to you guys at a different point, and until next time, my friends, stay inspired. All right, peace.